Hello, here's a quick video showing how you can run a report that will show you all of the appointments that were created with you as a result of an appointment campaign, including those appointments that were created not using the custom link that was sent out through the campaign and might not be currently captured in the analytics. So there's two different tricks here. The first one I'm going to show you is something that you could explore, but I'm not sure it's going to be the best solution. So from your appointment campaign home screen, so if you go to your navigate home screen on the left side, you click on campaigns, you're going to see the analytics here. And you can click on either of these. I'm impersonating Solari here. So I'm gonna click on this first one. And it's gonna give you some analytics about the campaign, who created appointments and things like that. You'll see a tab here called eligible appointments. Now, I just learned about this. Eligible appointments, essentially what it's doing is scanning Navigate for a student who has scheduled an appointment with you, not using the campaign link, but it does fall within the parameters of your campaign, meaning that it falls within the dates that you set for your campaign. It includes the right location, the same location that you set for your campaign, and also the same service. So I saw right away that there's actually two appointments for this particular campaign that were scheduled outside of Solari's, the link that was included in Solari's email when she set out this campaign. However, Navigate detected that these might actually be associated with that campaign. So if you see something like this and you want to add this to your campaign analytics, all you need to do is click on them and click actions and then click associate appointments. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. And then that's gonna add those to your analytics. However, if the student is scheduling an appointment with you and they select a service different than what your campaign was specifying, so for example, if they select course planning or something like that when your campaign was for degree planning, they're not going to show up in this eligible appointments because they actually scheduled a different service. Now, that doesn't mean they weren't responding to the campaign. It just means that they're not going to be captured here. So this is the first trick to identify some appointments that might be affiliated with your campaign. Navigate's kind of flagging them and you can manually add them. But if you really want to look for all appointments that took place in that time period for the students that you sent your campaign to, it's going to be a little bit more intensive. So I'll walk through those steps. The first thing you're going to do on the left side here is go to reporting. And then once you select reports, you'll see this appointment campaigns report. So you'll click on that. And for the time frame, what you're going to want to do is say since, and then the start date of your campaign. So I think Solari's was sometime in December. I'll just say December 1st for right now. For the, you can leave all of this blank except for where it says appointment campaigns. You'll click on this. You're going to see a list of your campaigns and then all other campaigns. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Business Pathway Campaign. This is going to show me all of the students who received this campaign communication. So I scroll down and click Search. Okay, so it looks like we have 96 total results. So 96 different students received this campaign. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to select this box here to select all of these 96 students. Click on Actions, and then click Add to Student List. So you're going to make a list of these 96 students. Click Create New List, and we'll just say, what's the campaign called? Business Pathway. Okay, and click Save. So these 96 students have now been added to that list. Okay, the next step is go back to reporting and now go to appointments. So now we're going to pull a list of all the appointments that those 96 students had. We do that by saying the date range is since, and we'll select the same thing. So I'll just say December 1st here, but you're going to want to make sure it's a date prior to the beginning of your campaign. For the care unit, you're going to want to make sure you select your particular care unit. The organizer will be yourself. So for this, I'm going to say Solari. And the trick here is not to select anything for appointment campaigns. Remember, these particular appointments that we're trying to identify are not currently being associated with that campaign. The system does not know that they resulted from that campaign. So if you select this and try and click on the campaign that you issued, you're going to miss the ones that were already missing. So make sure you leave appointment campaigns blank. And then the last step is to go to student information. And you'll see student list. And you'll see your list of lists populate here. So Business Pathway Campaign List, that's the one I just made, that contains 96 students. So we're looking for any students who schedule an appointment after 12/1 with the Academic Advising and Transfer Center with Solari regardless of service, right? Because we left this as all, and we're included in this list of 96 students. Okay, so we scroll down, we run this search. Okay, so now we have 36 results, which is a lot higher than what the analytics were telling us. I think the analytics were only saying there were a handful there. Actually, 36 separate appointments were scheduled in this period with Sulari. It looks like they were associated with the campaign. So one thing I want to point out here is that these can contain duplicates. So if a student has multiple appointments with you within that time frame, and this is why it's important to set the start and end time frame appropriately. In fact, I'll go back to modify search here. If I go, let's say here, I'm going to actually make sure that these are a part of the campaign. So I'm going to say, I think, actually, I'm going to go all the way back here and look at her campaigns to see what the date of this campaign was. Looks like it was issued, on 1/17. Okay, 1/17 through 1/31. So now I'm going to go back to reporting. Again, back to appointments. All right, custom 1/17 through 1/31. Schedule meeting type doesn't matter. The care unit is the Academic Advising and Transfer Center. The location is not doesn't necessarily matter. The organizer for the appointment is Sulari White. Remember, we leave the appointment campaign box empty here. The service, we're going to include all. One last thing to show you too is that you might want to say don't include cancel appointments here because you don't want to count those. You want to include students who attended the appointment. Okay, and then again, down to student information, student list, business pathway campaign list. Click search. Let's see if that narrows us down a little bit. Okay, down to 17. Yep, so that's probably more realistic. It looks like we were grabbing a bunch of students in December who had appointments, but actually we're not actually scheduled the appointment prior to the campaign even going out. So this is going to give us our accurate count, 17 total results. Again, can contain duplicates. So I recommend if you look here at the, you can actually add a column here. I'll do that, show hide columns, go to student name. So you can go through this list, student name here, and you can filter alphabetically. And you can kind of scroll this to see if there's any, looks like there's one duplicate here. Okay, one duplicate. So really we have 16 results, 16 appointments that were resulted from this campaign. Now, if this is a much longer list, you could technically export this to Excel and then remove the duplicates using a data filter in Excel. So let's say, I don't know, you had 1,000 students here and you didn't want to scroll through all of them to see if there were any duplicates. You could just export it to Excel, go to the data tab, and then remove duplicates. I recommend using student ID as your filter for removing duplicates there. If you have any questions about how to do that, feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to show you. So that's a good way now. So I see 17, really 16 different students scheduled, looks like as a result of this campaign with Sulari White. And then one thing I wanted to show you is going back to this campaign here. So we had 16. And if I click on the business campaign here, yeah, see, it only captured five. So, and that was actually after we affiliated those eligible appointments. Okay, so so we have a pretty big discrepancy there. So I recommend using this method for really identifying the effectiveness of your campaigns. Let me know if you have any questions.